Welcome to Kitchen Short Circuit. We are at Connie's house today. We're going in to look at a pantry and figure out what's in there. Kinsley, you excited? Good. Let's head on in. Okay, I'm Dr. Jonathan Douglas. We're here with Volt Media Group for a Kitchen Short Circuit, Connie Tankersley edition. Connie was asking some questions. She has some gluten intolerance, and so we're going to find out all kinds of things as we go into her pantry. Got a sidekick here, Kinsley, who's super excited about this. She's going to be questioning a little bit of what we talk about. But we're going to get started, and we're going to go straight into the pantry. We've looked a little bit already, and so we kind of know what we're looking at. And we have some examples of things that we've really never talked about on the show. So, Connie, if you could tell me, what do you do with these? We've got a couple of fish fries. We've got a seasoned and a crispy southern. And then we've got a thing that says gluten-free, which most people think is going to be a healthier option right off the bat if they see gluten-free. So tell me, how do you use these in the kitchen?
We fry fish with these, and then I will fry chicken.
Okay, so you don't use these then because you're gluten-free, or you do?
These are gluten-free.
Oh, these are gluten-free also. I didn't see that. They do say gluten-free on there. Typically, if something says gluten-free, that's something I recommend that nobody ever eat for health reasons. And we're going to look at why that is. The reason this can be called gluten-free is because it's corn. And as we talked about on the show before, and I talk about all the time, corn is one of the most inflammatory things you could possibly eat. When you go gluten-free, usually you get a lot more carbs in something than you do with the gluten side of it. The problem with gluten is not so much the wheat. It's usually the Roundup residue that's actually on the wheat. And so if you get American wheat, we spray Roundup on it, we get these glyphosates, and it creates all kinds of problems. So if you go to something like an Italian wheat, which you can order from Amazon, and that's what we use, then you don't get that because they won't allow it in Italy.
But is that gluten-free?
It's not gluten-free, but the problem is most people aren't really gluten intolerant. They're intolerant of the things that are on the gluten. Does that make sense? You'd have to test it.
So whatever is on the wheat is also on this because it's
I
corn.
mean, corn is grown with so much Roundup. Yeah, so, but that's not even the problem. So corn is full of omega-6 fats, which is called arachidonic acid, and it's very inflammatory in your body, and it's going to cause neurological problems to be worse. So if you eat a lot of corn, you're going to have more pain, and you're going to have more neurological issues if you're prone to that. Do you eat corn at home? No corn at all?
I don't like corn.
You don't like corn at all? You don't eat popcorn?
I do eat popcorn.
Okay, so is popcorn corn? People,
I think so.
it is. It's popped corn.
Oh.
Same thing. I mean, kids will all eat corn. But the other problem with this is this has monosodium glutamate in it, MSG, and MSG is a neurotoxin. So if you're going to do anything to help with neurological complaints, then taking something that's literally a toxin to your nerves and substitute for something like gluten that really can maybe make them a little sensitive, it's just a really bad idea. So this will make you hurt, I promise, and will make some neurological symptoms way worse. Anytime we talk to our headache patients, or we've seen a lot of people with myasthenia gravis or ALS over the years or whatever, if you get them off of monosodium glutamate and corn, they all do better. So that's the problem, is that there's just generic, for people with neurological problems, there's a generic recommendation, usually gluten-free. But, I mean, that's not, what that means really is not find a box that says gluten-free. What that really means is eat things that don't have gluten in them and not substitute. You can't find substitutes for it. You have to eat things that aren't, like meats and vegetables and fruits. There's really no substitute for gluten that's going to be good for you. There are better ones than this, and we can talk about that, but these are definitely not good ones. And then I don't know what this one is. I'd never heard of this. Is this a Publix thing? You get that? Okay. Kentucky Kernel, gluten-free seasoned flour. It's actually a lot better if you read the label. And so we've got like brown rice flour, but it's also very suspicious, one thing that's on here. So let's look at this list together, because you were talking about reading labels. So if we're looking at this has monosodium glutamate on there, garlic, onion, and lemon juice. So they put most of the spices that are in there, but then they also have this generic says spices, right, including red pepper, because that's an allergen for a lot of people. Do you see how that one doesn't say that? That could also, and probably does, have MSG. They don't have.
That one does.
Yeah, they don't have to say that, but spices could mean anything. So you have no idea, but usually it's also MSG and yeast extract, And so you think, oh, spices, that's better than this one that says MSG. Probably not. It's probably the same junk. You just don't have to list it. For some reason, Zatarain's decided to put all that on there. I don't know why, because more people would probably buy it if it just said spices.
I thought I thought there was a law that said they had to include everything that was in.
Like natural
food.
flavor. Natural flavor could mean it comes from petroleum, because petroleum's natural.
Okay.
So natural
Good
flavor.
to
I mean,
know.
none of that has any kind of real meaning in the world. People think there's all kinds of this regulation that really monitors things. It's not really true. They can put pretty much anything they want in there. But in general, our people who say they need to be gluten-free and we get them off of things that actually literally say gluten-free on them, do better, universally.
Okay.
Neurological problems will do so much worse with that. This one is our next step, correct? Yes. And this, so as we did with Greer last time, we really have some good and bad options. In the same, what do you do with these?
I have those as a snack,
Okay.
like if I'm in the car.
And she told me something interesting that is almost universally true also. Which one of these would you eat as a snack, Miss Kinsley? Which one looks the best? Which bag looks the best, would you say? Like something you'd want to eat?
That one?
That one, yeah. This is the best marketing bag by far. That looks really exciting. It kind of looks like a Dorito. Would you eat Doritos?
Depends on what kind.
Depends on what kind. Or what are Doritos made out of? Do you know?
Corn?
Corn. So there we go with the corn again. Yes. So worst by far. But best marketing, which they're really good at. Usually the worst food has the best marketing. Middle of the road. Really good choice. Okay? So let's try to figure out why. So I'm going to let Connie look at this. And can you tell me, if we look at that label together, so tell me why you think that one would be worse than this one. They're pretty close, but it has...
I don't have my glasses.
Oh, you don't have your
on.
glasses? Okay, so let's not do that with Connie. We should have rehearsed that situation. This has a lot of stuff in it that I would not eat, number one. So vegetable oil that has sunflower, safflower, and canola. Those are all seed oils. Those are very inflammatory for neurological problems again.
And canola's bad. I learned that
I mean,
already.
what does canola mean? I think
Canadian
we talked
Lab.
Canadian Lab, right? We talked about that. So that's a completely processed thing that's made there. Onion powder. This one also, let's see what we just learned. This one says spices. What could that mean?
MSG.
It could mean MSG, and it probably does. And if it looks like that stuff right there and has that powdered look to it, it usually has either yeast extract, which is the same thing as MSG, or MSG in it.
Okay.
Okay, that would be your favorite though. If you just saw a bag and you said we have to do, this is Millie, by the way. Millie's going to be involved here in just
She
a
thinks
second.
she's getting a treat.
She thinks she's involved all the way. Yes. Veggie straws. So veggie straws have safflower oil, sunflower oil. So we keep talking about the same kind of things. That's seed oils. It has a lot less in it than this, and it certainly looks like it probably doesn't have MSG or yeast extract. So okay option. Like 10 out of 10 bad. No way I'm eating that. It's probably like a 5, okay? This is a really good option. Sweet potatoes, avocado oil, sea salt.
Avocados are disgusting.
Disgusting. Okay, but do you think avocado oil is the same thing as avocado?
No.
No, I mean, it doesn't have that kind of taste. Why are avocados disgusting? How have you had
They're
them?
green.
Because they're green. Okay, so this is the problem with children, is that sometimes color and texture and all those things, but if you introduce it to them when they're young and you really have no other option, children will not starve. So if she only had avocados to eat, she would eat avocados at some point. You wouldn't be happy. Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
Well, what?
You would, okay. I think you would.
Well, what?
Avocado oil, not the same thing though. So avocado oil is not the same thing as avocado, but this is such a good option. We got sweet potatoes, which are way better than regular potatoes on the inflammatory scale. We got avocado oil, which is an omega-3 oil, which is what you need for neurological problems. It feeds your nerves instead of omega-6, takes away fats that you really need, essentially because of inflammation, and then sea salt. So this is so good.
Okay.
So good. Let's do that, and you can do that anytime you want. This one, rare if you really needed something else, and then that one is just not really
Don't
edible.
get that again.
Yeah, not edible for humans.
Okay.
Any questions on those?
That's
Okay.
good to know. It's interesting though that by taste, that one's the worst one, and that's the best one.
What does that
You've
mean,
got to
though? What-
retrain your brain.
Yeah, and so this, I just read an article on this, and there's a whole branch of chemical science that's designed to figure out when something hits your tongue, what makes you the most addicted. This has all the things that are going to make you addicted. So it hits your tongue, it has the right texture, it has the right chemicals, it has everything to make you want pop chips again quickly. I'm going to eat a bunch of these because it has the stuff my brain wants. It's like a cocaine hit almost. I mean, it's the same thing in the brain. This doesn't. It doesn't have any of those chemicals. And so this is just a natural thing that they have not modified in any way. So you kind of have to like sweet potatoes. But you always, if you choose this, you're choosing sick. And if you choose that, you're choosing to be well. So you just kind of have to, I mean, is tasting good better than being healthy?
Feeling good, yeah.
And feeling good. I mean, those are the things, and especially if you've got something neurological that you want to think about, then especially we talk to our headache patients. The headache patients always love stuff with MSG and yeast extract. For some reason, the thing that we don't need is what we crave. But when you get them off of that and onto something like this, they all do better. So it's worthwhile, but we just wish we could fast forward people 6 months and say, if you didn't eat this and only ate that, you'd feel better. And this is what you'd feel like. Everybody would say, oh my gosh, I'd do that immediately. But it's just impossible to do. We'll move to the other pantry.
All right. This one was the food and that one's the dog.
This is food. Okay, so we'll go dog last. How about that? And we're grabbing these because this is such a good example of easy things to eat. And so people want things on the road. And I wish I'd brought it. I thought about bringing it. So I went to Walmart, which is a rare thing for me to go to Walmart. I don't like shopping at Walmart in general. But they have Lara bars, L-A-R-A.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Lara bars are kind of complicated. I love Lara bars, but a lot of them are peanut butter based, which is not healthy. It's better than this, and we're going to talk about that. But there's one called cherry pie that's almonds and dates and cherries, and that's literally what it is. That's the best energy bar I know of we can get locally. Okay, so let's start with that. I just went and got those today because I've got a tournament tomorrow. We have a tournament tomorrow, right? And so I want to make sure I have some things to eat, and so I did go get Lara bars. Well, I usually don't eat energy bars, but that's the best one of this. But so we've got some of these things that we're going to look at here. Why did you buy the bear bar?
Well, they were gluten-free, and I thought it was just apples and cranberries and almonds.
So I know from talking to Kinsley in the past, she likes to look at pictures of things on the front and decide if they're disgusting or not, right? So if it has green, I've learned in the past, like pumpkin seed or something, no way you're touching this, right? So give me a read on this. So if we look at this bear one, does that look disgusting?
Kinda.
Kinda. What is disgusting for a child on that?
Green?
Does it have some green on there? Or is the fruit kind of, what is it?
No,
Just
no, the brown.
the brown?
Yeah,
Okay,
brown.
gotcha. It's interesting what kids see on there too and how they process this thing. So what about this one? Does that look disgusting or that's maybe something you'd try?
No,
Wouldn't try it? Why not?
I don't know. It just don't look good.
It just doesn't look good. Okay, what about those? Okay, and what about that one?
No.
Okay, so marketing-wise, they've done a terrible job with kids right off the bat because I wish that healthier things looked better, but these aren't really healthy, so we'll talk about why. So how did you know this was gluten-free?
I had my glasses on.
You had your glasses
and
on, okay.
I read it somewhere.
You don't see where it says it just obviously. Usually it has a real obvious gluten-free kind of, but
Usually, I mean, I will always flip over and it'll tell you if it contains wheat or soy.
yeah, I don't see it. It says don't give it to children 4 years old or younger. That's interesting.
Does
'cause
it
shows.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. So this has some stuff in it I don't love. Glycerol. Glycerol is basically almost kind of like antifreeze. It's like a smoothing kind of agent within things. It has sunflower oil again. Why would we not want sunflower oil? Seed oils, inflammatory. Safflower oil, seed oil. I don't know why they'd put both of those in there. So this is going to be an inflammatory kind of situation. Is this better than something like the pop chips? Absolutely. It really is. It doesn't have all those spices. So if you're in an emergency and you have something like that, that's okay. I would eat that in an emergency. I really would. I love this one. It says junkless. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the label. I don't know what junk means or junkless. Deliciously real, all kinds of stuff. And let's see what it's got in it. Rice flour. It's got sunflower oil. Again, more sunflower oil. Sunflower lecithin. So this is really, really inflammatory. It's junkless, supposedly, but if you're sensitive, especially neurologically sensitive, this is going to bother you. I promise.
you said to stay away from corn.
Yes.
What about if it's made with rice? Is that bad?
Rice is better than corn
Okay.
in general, but it's very hard to find a rice that doesn't also have an oil that's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you look on YouTube, you can find all kinds of people that make amazing bars. And I know that's an extra effort, but if you really are sensitive to it and you want to find things, you can make some gluten-free. If you got dates and you got some rice, like crisped rice, and then I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do to make it yourself. It's just an extra step. But if you're really worried about what's in something, then you have to do what we do, which is we cook 99% of the stuff that we eat, unfortunately. I wish we didn't have to. And then this is organic granola bites. It says nut and gluten-free. Sunflower oil, again. Natural flavor, no meaning to that. There's no telling what's in that. This has broccoli in it. Is that appealing to you?
Does
No.
it really have
Yes,
broccoli
it
in
does.
it?
There's some kind of broccoli concentrate or something in there, and mushrooms. Does that? Ooh, yeah, I knew that face was going to be there. So, the oils is the problem. If you eat a lot
So
of
that's
seed
what I
oils,
need to add to look for. Not just wheat and soy, but the seed oils.
yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that makes
corn.
it makes a big difference. It really does. And then we got this one, which is Glutino, which actually is, I mean, their stuff is all gluten-free. That is the name of their company, and this is what they do. ConAgra is one of the biggest producers of just generic foods, and so they make a bunch of junk. And this Glutino, I guess, which I haven't really ever looked at, it has natural flavor. Is that a red flag? It is. Yeah. Let's see what else we got in here. So this is getting into something we have not talked about on the show, which is good. We got all kinds of gums in here, and a lot of people are really, really sensitive to gums. So guar gum and xanthan gum are thickeners, and some people have real, real problems with gums. Do you like to chew gum? Do you ever chew gum? Okay. Yeah, gum is a complicated thing. That's always in gums, but for some reason I bet they're having to make the fruit. Is it real fruit? It's strawberry, I didn't even read that first thing, strawberry flavored filling. So that's a petroleum based. You can take, I think it's called benzene, I'm pretty sure benzene. You can take a petroleum product and make it taste like anything if you add the right chemicals to it. And so when something says flavored, like strawberry flavored, that is going to be a petroleum product that they have modified to taste like that. We had a patient one time that had a convenience store in New Jersey that was right next to some industrial flavoring companies, and he said when people walked in, you'd know they worked in the banana plant or the strawberry plant or whatever, because the smell just is on them and they can't get it off of them. This is all a petroleum product that is making that stuff.
When you say petroleum, you mean like gas we put in
It's
our
a
car.
byproduct of gas production.
And we are eating that.
Absolutely. Anything that says natural
That just
flavor
seems
could
like
be that.
should be illegal.
I know that. I know it should.
Okay.
It really should. But that's what we're working on. That's what this whole RFK thing and this whole Make America Healthy is, that there's been all kinds of pushback, which is really funny because all he's saying is we just need to look at this because we've got a major problem of, they talk about public health and there's this huge push for public health. Are we healthier than we were 10 years ago? We're dumping all this money into public health. No, we're not. And they changed the food pyramid. Are we healthier now that they changed the food pyramid to more of this kind of stuff? And not? No, we're less healthy. So there has to be a reason, and it's because we eat chemicals. We don't eat food, which is a great transition point to talk about dogs. Because if you take Millie to the vet and you say, Millie's not sleeping and has skin problems and has diarrhea and all the things that dogs get, right? They're going to ask you, first thing, what?
What she's eating.
What she's eating, right? That's what happens when you go to the vet. They'll say, is she eating junk? And if you said, we're feeding her only Taco Bell and McDonald's, and we sometimes give her popcorn, and we eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast, then they're going to look at you like you're crazy, and they're going to say, well, then we know the solution. Solution is
Stop eating those
feed her
things.
good food,
Yeah.
right? And so we actually have, let me get right here, sweetie. We
It's the
actually,
next one.
Oh, it's the next one.
No,
No, this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong one. She heard me, so
Yep.
she can come on camera. So this is what Connie's eating. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out, and this is not exclusive to this person. Okay, this is every house that go into a dog, almost every house. This is what Millie eats. So we've got oat flour, rolled oats, coconut glycerin, not a problem, cane molasses, flaxseed, which is an omega-3. It's got peanut butter, which is omega-6, and I don't love that, but still banana, carob chips. It's got vegetable oil of some kind, doesn't say honey and citric acid. But in general, this is healthier than that stuff. So we're feeding the dog better than we're feeding ourselves. And that is pretty universal. That's not you. That's pretty universal. So it's very complicated. People talk about reading labels. It's very complicated to read labels. You hear gluten-free and you're trying really, really hard, this gluten-free situation. So you don't want to feel defeated. You almost feel defeated sometimes because you try and everything you bought was a thoughtful purchase. But there was just one step missing.
Yeah, that's good to know.
It's amazing when we talk to patients for anybody to be interested in this, to tell you the truth. Because so many people come in and we talk about all of this and I'm not really, I just like to feel better. I don't want to have to look at this, but it's just like if your dog goes to the vet. If we don't look at the building blocks and what you're putting in, then you're probably going to have problems that aren't completely fixable unless you start really looking at those building blocks. Anything we haven't talked about on these? Does it make sense?
It does.
So then the next step is, what can you do? If you look at this, I like those Lara bars that are cherry pie. So if you really want to go to the cleanest thing I know of locally, go to Walmart and get those. And then you've got something that I'm not worried about. I eat those, and that's fine. And then we can get some sweet potato chips, which are available. Tara loves at TJ Maxx. They're these apple chips. Have you seen those that are just baked apples? It's just a really good option. But you've got to read labels, but the soy is a really good thing to avoid, but you got to get into the seed oils too, especially if you have a problem that you're trying to fix with diet. A lot of people are just saying, I don't want to have a problem. They might be able to handle some of this a little better, but if you have something like, I have a condition that I really want to work on, you're not going to handle any of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Can we make some changes?
Yes, I am. I mean, I thought I was doing a good thing.
I know. And we never with this show want to make people feel defeated, but we want to just empower people to know that there are better choices out there. And actually locally with Publix, we have such a good option for finding most of the things we need. You just have to read the labels a little differently. Thank you, Connie.
Thank
for letting us in here. Thank you, Kinsley. We'll see you next time on Kitchen Short Circuit.